All that glitters is not gold. This is an interesting story of a young woman that left her husband for a wealthy man. Kindly follow us as discover her fate in her newly found lover. Kindly support us by subscribing to our channel at Chukwudi Alaulor. Thanks for subscribing. Now, let's proceed. In the quiet village of Umuoma, Ikin and Adaora lived a modest life filled with love and contentment. Though they had little in terms of material wealth, they found joy in each other and in the simple pleasures of their daily lives. But Adaora, once satisfied with their humble existence, began to dream of more. She yearned for luxury, for the gold and jewels she saw in the market, and for a life beyond the fields of Umuoma. Her desires were stoked when Emeka, a wealthy trader from a neighboring town, arrived in the village. He was handsome, well-dressed, and flaunted his wealth with a confidence that drew Adaora's attention. He showered her with gifts, jewelry, and promises of a life filled with riches. Blinded by greed, Adaora found herself captivated by Emeka's charm and began to distance herself from Ikin, who noticed the change in his wife with a growing sense of dread. One evening, after yet another argument with Ikin about her growing obsession with wealth, Adaora made a fateful decision. She packed her few belongings and left their small hut, walking away from the only life she had ever known to be with Emeka. The pain in Ikin's heart was unbearable, but he could only watch as the woman he loved disappeared into the night. Adaora arrived at Emeka's grand mansion, a place of luxury she had never imagined. Marble floors, chandeliers, and servants who catered to her every whim surrounded her. At first, she was intoxicated by the splendor and the endless parade of fine clothing and jewelry that Emeka lavished upon her. But soon, she began to notice strange things: rooms in the mansion that were always locked, whispered conversations among Emeka's men, and the unsettling feeling that she was being watched. One night, Emeka revealed his true intentions. He led Adaora to a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, where a stone altar stood surrounded by strange symbols and flickering candles. Fear gripped Adaora as she realized that Emeka had lured her here for something far darker than the life of luxury he had promised. She was to be a sacrifice in a ritual that would increase his wealth and power, a ritual that would cost her life. Desperate and terrified, Adaora tried to escape, but the mansion was a labyrinth, and Emeka's men were always close behind. She knew she needed help, but who would come for her now that she had abandoned Ikin and betrayed the life they had built together? Back in Umuoma, Ikin was tormented by the loss of his wife. He knew that something was wrong and feared that Adaora was in danger. Despite the pain she had caused him, he couldn't abandon her to whatever fate awaited her in Emeka's mansion. He confided in his closest friends, Obina, a skilled hunter, and Chijioke, a strong and brave farmer. Together, they devised a plan to rescue Adaora, knowing the risks but determined to save her. The three men set out at night, armed with nothing but their courage and a few crude weapons. They traveled through the dense forests surrounding Emeka's mansion, avoiding the main roads to remain unseen. When they arrived, the mansion loomed before them, its opulence now overshadowed by the sinister atmosphere that pervaded the grounds. Obina scouted the area, identifying the guards and their patterns. Chijioke, with his strength, prepared to take on anyone who stood in their way. Ikin, driven by love and desperation, led them toward the mansion's hidden entrance, which they had learned about from a servant sympathetic to their cause. As they sneaked through the mansion, they could hear the eerie chanting from the ritual room. The air was thick with the smell of incense and the sound of drums. Ikin's heart raced as they neared the chamber where Adaora was being held. When they reached the door, they were confronted by two of Emeka's men. A fierce struggle ensued, Obinna with his bow, Chijioke with his club, and Ikin with nothing but his bare hands and the determination to save Adaora. They fought valiantly, and though they were outnumbered, their determination saw them through. They overcame the guards and burst into the ritual chamber just as Emeka was about to begin the ceremony. The sight of Adaora, bound and terrified on the altar, fueled Ikin's rage. He charged at Emeka, tackling him to the ground, while Obinna and Chijioke fought off the remaining men. In the chaos, one of the candles was knocked over, setting the drapes on fire. The flames spread quickly, adding to the panic. Emeka, realizing that his plans were unraveling, tried to flee, but Ikin wouldn't let him escape so easily. The two men grappled, fighting for control. Just as it seemed that Emeka might overpower him, Chijioke intervened, landing a decisive blow that sent Emeka crashing into the burning altar. With Emeka defeated and the mansion engulfed in flames, Ikin rushed to Adaora's side, cutting her bonds and helping her to her feet. She was weak and trembling, but relief washed over her when she saw Ikin's face. They made their way out of the mansion, dodging falling beams and smoke, with Obinna and Chijioke clearing the path ahead. They escaped into the night, the mansion burning behind them. Adaora, now free from the clutches of the man who had deceived her, clung to Ikin, overwhelmed with gratitude and guilt. As they fled back to Umuoma, she wept, knowing how close she had come to losing everything, including her life, for the sake of greed. When they returned to the village, they were greeted with a mixture of relief and curiosity. The villagers had heard rumors of Adaora's departure and were shocked to see her return, bruised and shaken, but alive. Ikin's friends, Obinna and Chijioke, were hailed as heroes for their bravery, and the story of the daring rescue spread quickly. In the days that followed, Adaora humbled herself before Ikin and the villagers. She confessed her mistakes and begged for forgiveness. Though it took time, Ikin forgave her, understanding that she had been blinded by ambition but had learned a harsh lesson. They rebuilt their life together, though it was not without challenges. Adaora returned to the fields, walking side by side with Ikin, her hands roughened by labor but her heart lightened by the love she had rediscovered. The villagers, once wary, began to accept her again, seeing the sincerity in her actions and the strength of her resolve. As the seasons passed, Ikin and Adaora's love grew stronger. The memories of the past, though painful, became a reminder of the dangers of greed and the true meaning of wealth. They found happiness in the simple things they had once taken for granted: a bountiful harvest, the warmth of the hearth, and the companionship of friends. And so, in Umuoma, the story of Ikin and Adaora became a tale of caution and redemption, told by the elders to remind the younger generation of the perils of greed and the power of love. It was a story of a woman who had nearly lost everything but found her way back through the love and bravery of a man who refused to give up on her. Their life was no longer about riches but about the wealth they found in each other, a wealth that no amount of gold or jewels could ever match. Together, they lived out their days in peace, their story a testament to the enduring power of love, forgiveness, and the value of a life well lived. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the story. Kindly support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to our channel at Chukwudi Alaulor. And don't forget to tell us your opinion about the story by commenting. Thank you once again.